नञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलम् श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवां साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नम ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणी। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यस्य कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री वासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So welcome to the Bhakti Rasa Amrit Sindhu Southern Division, the components of rasa. And we have been discussing within the components of rasa, the first, which is Vibhava. Within Vibhava, there is the Vishaya-alamban, there is the Ashraya-alamban. And within the Vishaya-alamban, there is Anyarup and Swarup or Prakata. And we saw all that. And then what are the qualities in the Vishaya-alamban? The 64 qualities. And Rup Goswami is defining each of these qualities. He's giving a definition and he's giving scriptural quotations. And these qualities are what attract. In fact, if you see, what attracts the heart here means the soul, is these qualities. And the soul can possess these qualities up to how much, I don't know, 78% or something, that too in minute degree. And these qualities exist like an ocean in abundance and full. Each of these qualities are like an ocean in Krishna. So how much Krishna is attractive, we can understand that. How much Krishna is merciful, we can understand that. So understanding of these qualities of Krishna is very, very important. And we have been discussing in the last few classes on these qualities. And yesterday we covered few. And today we will cover from quality number 28. So this is 28. Sama. Sama means is equal. He's impartial. So first Rup Goswami gives the definition. Ragadvesha vimikto yah samasa katito budhe. The learned say, Budhe, that a person who is free from attraction and disgust, Ragadesha vimukta yah, is called impartial. Samasa katito. So Krishna also speaks about Raga and Dvesha, how one should become free from Raga and Dvesha. But here it is focusing on the quality. But Krishna in the Gita focuses on a different perspective there about Raga and Dvesha. But first, let us see how many of you know where Raga Dvesha is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. Anyone knows? Raise your hands. Where is Raga and Dvesha mentioned? Anyone? Raga and Dvesha is many times referred to in the Bhagavad Gita. Anyone? Nobody knows. Where is Raga and Dvesha? Okay. Here, Krishna speaks about Raga and Dvesha in verse 2.64. Okay, Sudhanshu Prabhuji, apart from this, you had any other verse to, where are you? Yes, Sudhanshu Prabhuji.
Rag Dvesh, those people once comes.
Pardon?
I'm remembering just praise the part of that Rag Dvesh, those people.
Vyavastito, yes, I was also going to refer to that. Okay, one more has also typed as this 2.64. Raga Dvesha Vimukteste Vishayan Indriyascharan Atma Vasher Vidyatma Prasadam Adhigachati. So he is speaking about the raga and dvesh of the mind. The mind has attraction to what it likes and repulsion to what it doesn't like. One has to become free from that. And again, in the third chapter of the Gita, also, Krishna in 3.34, Indriyasya Indriyarteshu Raga Dvesho Vyavastito, Raga Dvesho Vyavastito, Tayor na Vashma Gachet. So here the same point is also being made. And I think in one of the 12th chapter or which chapter, I don't remember, there is again once Raga Dvesh mentioned. But here, Rup Goswami is speaking about how he is impartial to the demons as well as his own sons. So that quality is very, very unique in Krishna. Okay. Yata Shri Dashami. न्यायो हि दण्डकृतकिल्बिषेऽस्मिंस्तवताराकलः निग्रहाय रिपुसुतानामपि तुल्यदृष्टेर्दत्सेदमं फलम् evanuशंसन्. The 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavad. The punishment, danda, that this offender has been subjected to, krita kilbishe asmims, is certainly just. Nyayohi. After all, you have incarnated within this world, tava avataraha, to curb the envious and cruel persons. Khala nigrahaya. Khala means those who are envious. You are so impartial that you look equally upon your enemies and your sons. Ripu sutanam api tulya drishter. So here, this is the point. Uh, that Lord Krishna looks equally upon his enemies as well as his own sons. Very, very difficult. Ripu sutanam api tulya drishter. For when you impose a punishment on the living being, you know it is to be for his ultimate benefit. That's say damanam phalam evanushamsam. Okay, let's see Jiva Goswami's commentary on this. The Lord does not see with prejudiced vision in the manner of this is my enemy, this is my son. The Lord sees with equal vision because he sees differences only in terms of correct and incorrect. Just you can just contemplate and just meditate. Actually, every jiva is Lord's son, and Lord Krishna, when in Dwarka through his 18,108 queens, he had each 10 sons. And you can imagine how big Krishna's family. It is his own family members who were born from Krishna. Actually, everyone is Krishna's son. So in that sense, if you see, parents who have children, the souls don't belong to their parents, it belongs to Krishna. But yet, because of bodily attachment, we so much have prejudice. But Krishna uh, doesn't have prejudice even to his own sons and enemies, because his enemies are also his own sons. That's also a deeper reason you have to understand. So this is one of the beautiful qualities. The Lord sees with equal vision because he sees differences only in terms of correct and incorrect. He gives punishment to the enemy whose nature is incorrect because he's thinking of the final result. So that punishment is also very, very beneficial for him. This means that in the end, the Lord gives him the happiness of liberation. In this way, the Lord sees the enemy and his son as equal. It is also seen that father gives punishment to erring sons. The enemies are people such as Jarasandh, and his sons are persons such as Narkasur. So Narkasur was Lord's son only, but the Lord came and killed. How he became the son of the Lord during the Vara pastime is told in the Kalika Puran. So in the Kalika Puran, how he became the son of the Lord is mentioned in the Vara pastime. So this Kalika Puran is a minor Puran named after Durga, Kalika. Prabhupada. A person who's unaffected by attachment and envy is called to possess equilibrium. So we spoke about unattachment with respect to what you like and don't like. And here it is, you know, uh, in all situations. It's a broader context which is being spoken. An example of Krishna's equilibrium is given in the 10th canto, 16th chapter, verse 33 of the Srimad Bhagavatam, in connection with his chastising Kaliya, the 100-headed serpent. When Kaliya was being severely punished, all his wives appeared before the Lord and prayed as follows. Dear Lord, you have descended to punish all kinds of demonic living creatures. Our husband, this Kaliya, is a greatly sinful creature, and so your punishment for him is quite appropriate. We know that your punishment for your enemies and your dealings with your sons are both the same. We know that it is in thinking of the future welfare of this condemned creature that you have chastised him. So that is from the Kaliya pastime, you know. So another example, Yatava. O best of the Yadus, Yaduvara, if your enemy does something correctly, Ripur api yada shuddho, you reward him. Mandaniyas tavaso. And if your son becomes spoiled, you punish him. Yadi dushta dandaniya sutopi. You are the protector of all people. Akhila bhrartu. And without prejudice, na punar pakshopat uthitasya. Thus, partiality can never occur in your actions. Kvachid api vishamam te cheshtitam jaha titi. If an enemy does something correctly without fault, Shuddha, you reward him. And if your son does something wrong, you punish him. Favoritism of either party, pakshapata, means to favor one party without good reasons. And this is called as nepotism, trying to promote your own family members, show favoritism to your community, your family, your country. So many levels it is there. Very difficult to come out of the bodily consciousness. So this is not there in Krishna. In another pair, it is said, My dear Lord Krishna, best of all the Kuru dynasty, you are so impartial that even if your enemy is qualified, you will reward him. And even if your son is a culprit, you will chastise him. This is your business because you're the supreme author of the universes. You have no partiality. If anyone finds any partiality in your characteristics, he's surely mistaken. He's surely mistaken. Okay, Vadanyaya. Danaviryo bhavat yastu sa vadanyo nigaddate. That the person who is very charitable, Danaviryo bhavat yastu, is called generous. Sa vadanyo nigatyate. So the opposite of generous is greed. And greed should be replaced with generosity, charitable. And Mahaprabhu is also addressed Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaurat Vishay Nama. So Mahaprabhu is the most charitable because he has come to give his own love. Krishna Prema Pradhayate, Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya, Namine Gaurat Vishenama. You are Krishna only, but now you come in Krishna Chaitanya, in the form of Krishna Chaitanya as sannyasi, but you're Gaura, but inside you're actually Krishna. So that is the greatest charitable thing. But let us see what he gives the example. Yatha, the wishing jewel, Rieva, Chintamani, the desire cow, Kamadenu, and the desire kalpa, Kalpadruma, being made useless, Vyarthit Krita by Krishna, Kamsa Nisudanena, who fully satisfies all the supplicants' desires. Sarva Artinam, Bhadam Abhishta Purtya, Sir Dwarka in shame, Dwarkayatam Bhajanti. So, wish fulfilling, the Chintamani, Kamadenu, Kalpadruma, they are all useless. Why? Because Krishna is supplying all the desires here in Dwarka and they are serving there in shame because nobody's going to them. That's the point. This verse, this is a verse of the praise by a professional reciter. So when maybe in Dwarka it is being recited. Yathava, another example. In each of the 16,108 palaces, Yesham Shodasha Purita Dasha Sati Swanta Puranam Tata, with their queens, Chashtalishta Shatam Vibhati Paritastam Sankhya Patnya Yujam, every day at one time, Ekekam Prati Teshu Tarnaka Britham would give in charity Adadad 13,084 Baddham ornamented young cows with firstborn calves. Bhusha Jusha Avaham Grishtinam Yugapacha. That means the cow with the calf. Who can be equal to him in charity? Yes, tasya vakaha sama. So this is how Krishna is to do charity in Dwarka every day. So that is at one time, 13,084. The author enforces what has been stated in the previous verse by one typical example of charity in Dwarka. The number of palaces is 16 multiplied Purita by 1000, Dasha Sati plus 108, Shlishta. So that becomes 16,108. Grishrinam refers to cows that have given birth to calves only once. And Baddha is 13,084. I don't know how the maybe Sanskrit the calculation, just like Akshoni means this much. So 84 it is, 13,084. 13,084, some Baddha. In another edition, this verse is missing. Magnanimous. Any person who's very charitably disposed is called magnanimous. When Krishna was reigning over Dwarka, he was so magnanimous that the charitably disposed and charitably disposed that there was no limit to his charity. In fact, so great was his charity in Dwarka that even the spiritual kingdom with all its opulences of Chintamani, desire trees and surbikas were surpassed. In the spiritual kingdom of Lord Krishna, named Golok Vrindavan, there are surbi cows which give unlimited quantities of milk. There are desire trees from which anyone can take all kinds of fruit as much as he may desire. The land is made of touchstone, which when touched to iron will transform into gold. In other words, although in the spiritual world, the abode of Krishna, everything is wonderfully opulent, still when Krishna was in Dwarka, his charity exceeded the opulence of Golok Vrindavan. Wherever Krishna is present, the limitless opulence of Golok Vrindavan is automatically present. It is also stated that while Krishna was living in Dwarka, he expanded himself into 16,108 forms And in each and every expansion resided in the palace with a queen. Not only was Krishna happily living with his queens in those palaces, but he was giving in charity from each palace. Now, please remember, from each palace, an aggregate number of 13,054 cows completely decorated with nice clothing and ornaments. From each of Krishna's 16,108 palaces, these cows were being given in charity by Krishna every day. First of all, it is 13,054 into 16,108. And every day means, you can imagine, most of the pastimes around, 125 years what Krishna lived. It's more than 100 years, in fact. Krishna only lived in Vrindavan for 11 or odd years. So you can imagine how many, how charitable was Krishna. No one can estimate the value of such a large number of cows given in charity. But that was the system of Krishna's daily affairs while he was reigning in Dwarka. It's all inconceivable to our even human intelligence. Okay, any questions as of now? We finished these two qualities. Any questions, any clarifications? Okay, let's go to Dharmika. Kurvan karyate dharmam yah sa dharmika uchyate. The person who follows the principles of dharma and engages others in doing also, kurvan karyate dharmam yah sa, is called a virtuous man. Dharmika uchyate. So one should engage in the principles of dharma, and he also uh, engages others. That is dharmik. That is paro dharma. Yatha पादेशतुभिर्भवता वृषस्य गुप्तस्य गोपेन्द्र तथाव्यावर्धि स्वैरिं चरन् एव यथा त्रिलोक्याम् अधर्म स्पर्शानि हताज जघास. An example: O king of cowherdmen, Gopendra, the bull of Dharma with four legs under your protection, Padesh Chaturbeer Bhavata Vrishasya, has flourished to such an extent that Guptasya Tata Abhyavardhi, going everywhere in the three worlds, Svairim Charan Eva Yata Trilokyam, it has forcefully gobbled up the grass of irreligion. Adharma Sparshani Hatad Jaghas. So this is, I don't know in which context this is being addressed. Let us see if Jiva Goswami and Prabhupada give. This and the next verse are joking statements of Narada. Examples of performing dharma and engaging others in dharma are given in the reverse order. The present verse is an example of engaging others in dharma. Gopendra is a pun. Pun is one who makes, everyone laugh. The normal meaning is the king of the cowherd men, Gopa Indra. But Gopa can also mean protector of the earth, since Go means earth and Pa means protector, Palan. Thus, Gopendra means the best of the protector's earth or the best of the kings. Amarkesha says Gopo Bhubha. Gopa means king. Yathava. Again, O Mukunda, you have performed so many sacrifices. Vitayamaner, Bhavata, Makhotkarer, and continually attracted all the devatas, Akarshamashu Patishwa Anartam, that the wives of the devatas, Sura Subruvam Ganas, feeling suffering in separation from their husbands, Kinna, are praying to Buddha, your ninth avatar, to appear to stop sacrifices. Tava avataranam navam namasyati. So Krishna was performing so many sacrifices when he was in Dwarka that practically the demigods were always there in Dwarka, and the wives were, feeling separation from their husbands, and that's why they were praying that let the Buddha avatar come so that he can stop sacrifices so that our husbands can stay with us. Prabhupada, religious. A person who personally practices the tenets of religion as they are enjoined in the Shastras and who also teaches others the same principle is called religious. Simply professing a kind of faith is not a sign of religiousness. One must act according to religious principles, and by his personal example, he should teach others. Such a person is to be understood as religious. When Krishna was present on this planet, there was no irreligion. In this connection, Narad Muni once addressed Krishna jokingly: "My dear Lord of cowherd boys, Gopendra, your bulls," bull are the representation of religion, "while eating grass from the pasturing ground and moving on their four legs, have certainly eaten up all the grass of ill religion." So this is in a way, through a very beautiful metaphor called Kavya. Indirectly, it is indicating that so much of dharma was prevailing, that there was no adharma. Dharma kshetre, kurukshetre, samaveta, yudsata. So Kurukshetra is, where it's a dharma kshetra where grains in the form of dharma will be sown in the form of Yudhishthira Maharaj, and adharma in the form of weeds will be taken away. So all the bulls were pasturing the grounds, so the grass was all eaten up. So that's how it is being mentioned. In other words, by the grace of Krishna, religious principles were so well cared for that hardly any irreligious activities could be found. It is said that because Krishna was constantly performing various types of sacrifice and was inviting the demigods from the higher planetary systems, the demigods were almost always absent from their consorts. Therefore, the wives of the demigods, regretting the absence of their husbands, began to pray for the appearance of Lord Buddha, Krishna's ninth incarnation, who appears in the cage of Kali. In other words, instead of being pleased that Lord Krishna had come, they began to pray for Lord Buddha, who is the ninth incarnation, because Lord Buddha stopped the ritualistic ceremonies and sacrifices recommended in Vedas in order to discourage animal killing. The demigod's voice thought that if Lord Buddha appeared, all kinds of sacrifice would be stopped, and thus their husbands would not be invited to such ceremonies and would not be separated from them. Sometimes it is inquired, why don't the demigods from the higher planetary systems come to this Earth planet nowadays? So this Prabhupada is additionally, in his summary study, giving a further explanation. Because it is a summary study, Prabhupada is adding some more insights here. So what is it? He says, what is the reason? The plain answer is that since Lord Buddha appeared and began to deprecate the performance of sacrifice in order to stop animal killing on this planet, the process of offering sacrifices has been stopped, and the demigods do not care to come here anymore. Okay, Sura. Utsahi yudi suro astra prayoge cha vichakshana. A hero is a person, Suro, who is energetic in fighting. Utsai Yuddhi is very energetic in fighting and skillful in use of weapons. Astra Prayoga Chakshana. So there are two qualities of one who is a hero: energetic in fighting and skillful use of weapons. There are two qualities here in the definition. For the purpose of giving variety of example, the one warrior is described in two ways. This will be understood. This will be understood to be the method later as well. So, Tatra Adyo, Yatha. So, the first one, O destroyer of Aga, destroyer of sin, Aga, Vidarana, with your trembling trunk like arms, Spruhasi, Tarala Bahu Danda, Sundas, submerging yourself in the lake of expansive battlefield. Prutur, Tamar, Saro, Vighaya, Kurvan, playing in the Viharcharyam, forest of lotuses composed of your enemies. Dvashad Aravinda Vane, you, Tam, appear to be playing like a king of the elephants. Varendra Leela. So very poetically it is being described how Krishna was fighting, destroyer of sin. Let us see what Jiva Goswami. In the second line of this verse, there is an alternative version. Entering into the thick growth of Shaivala and lotus is composed of your enemies. Let's see what Prabhupada says. A person who is very enthusiastic in military activities and expert in releasing different kinds of weapons is called heroic. Regarding Krishna's heroism in fighting, there is the following statement. My dear killer of enemy, just as the elephant while taking bath in the lake destroys all the lotus stems within the water by swinging its trunk, so simply by moving arms, which are compared to the trunks of the elephant, you have killed so many lotus-like enemies. So that is the comparison. The elephant takes his huge trunk and just with one shot destroys all the lotuses. Similarly, Krishna, by moving his arms, was destroying, killing all the enemies. The second skill is using weapons, yatha. Within a second, Shanad, one could not see Drishtakopi, any soldier among the ferocious phalanx of Akshonis of Jarasandh. Akshoni Vrinde Jarasandhasya Darune. Any person who was not Atrnadasto, bitten by the snake-like arrows of Lord Hari, Praharana Bhi. Regarding Krishna's expertise in releasing weapons, when Jarasandh and 13 divisions of soldiers attacked Krishna's army, they were unable to hurt even one soldier on the side of Krishna. This was due to Krishna's expert military training. So you can imagine how many arrows he might be releasing in one shot. That all the Akshoni soldiers at Jarasandh were all destroyed. This is unique in the history of military art. Karunaha. Para dukkasya ho yasya tu karunaha sa nigaddate. A person who cannot tolerate the suffering of others. Para dukkasya so asaho yastu is called compassionate. Karuna sa nigaddate. So this quality of karuna is very, very important. Para dukha dukhi, it is mentioned, na? Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Pararadvega diyache ekhat, diyache jivere klish. When others are in misery, the conditioned souls feels happiness. In fact, really true. Why people eat meat is because the flesh of a rotten animal is having no taste. With adding all the masalas, they may get some taste, but there is no taste. But the happiness in uh, let's see the example now, Karuna. I offer my respects to the compassionate sons of the Yadus. Vrinde tam adya yadunanam padma bandhum. Who like the sun made of all the king's eyes blossom with joy. Akshini yah sukmayani grini vetanid. These kings, Ragyam, had blinded themselves with tears. Swayam anditanam, anditanam, arising from the impenetrable darkness of suffering. Dukkandakara patale, caused by being imprisoned by Jarasan. Agad Gatibir Maghendra Kara. So there were many kings who were held captive uh, by Jarasandh, and Krishna released them. And there were also many daughters who were not yet married, who were all captivated, who were under the imprisonment. Uh, Not by Jarasandh, but of Bhaumasur, I think. It was not Jarasandh. I don't recollect. So if somebody knows, can correct me. So Krishna showed compassion, and in the Vedic culture, a daughter who is not yet married even if some male person touches her, then he has to get married. uh, Otherwise, she's considered contaminated. So such was the level of purity which was followed, and you can imagine today's world. So although they were captivated and no one would marry these queens, so Krishna, married them and accepted as his own wives. So that was how Krishna was so merciful to them. These are the words of Bhishma when he was dying. The Bhishma praises. Swayam indicates that the king blinded themselves with their tears of suffering. Grini means compassionate according to Amarakosh. Jukupsa karune grina. Grina means disgust and compassion, both. Compassionate, Prabhupada. A person who is unable to bear another's distress is called compassionate. Krishna's compassion for distressed persons was exhibited when he released all the kings imprisoned by Maghindra. So this is regarding the kings releasing. While dying, grandfather Bhishma prayed to Krishna and described him as the sun which eradicated darkness. So this is there in the Bhishma prayers, this particular verse. The kings imprisoned by Maghindra were put into dark cells, and when Krishna appeared there, the darkness immediately disappeared, just as if the sun had risen. In other words, although Magadendra was able to imprison so many kings, upon the appearance of Krishna, they were all released. Krishna released all the kings out of their out of his sincere compassion for them. Yathava, another example. I offer my respects to the compassion of the Lord, Bhagavata Kripaye Namah, who, because of Bhishma's remembrance of him while lying on the bed of sharp arrows, Nishanta Shara Shayana Surasarita Sutena Smrite, immediately appeared Vartamano beyond his own control, Sapadya Vasha. He rushed towards Bhishma, Twa Rabara Tarangata, while forgetting his position as God. Khavalita Atma Vispuro Sprutaye. His body bathed in the shower of tears. Skalan Nayana Varibir Viricha Bhisheke Shriye. So Krishna appeared when Bhishma was lying on the bed of arrows there, out of his causeless compassion. Beautiful, this verse is also. Let's see. I offer respect to the compassionate nature of Krishna who appeared because Bhishma thought of him. He was that compassionate manifest. Krishna, out of his great haste to see Bhishma, forgot his position as the Lord. Kavilita Atma Vispurate. Such was Krishna's feeling for Bhishma. Krishna's compassion was also exhibited when grandfather Bhishma was lying on the bed of arrows which had been shot through his body. While lying in this position, Bhishma was very anxious to see Krishna, and thus Krishna appeared there. Upon seeing the pitiable condition of Bhishma, Krishna began speaking with tears in his eyes. Not only was he shedding tears, but he also forgot himself in his compassion. Therefore, instead of offering obeisance to Krishna directly, devotees offer obeisance to his compassionate nature. So, Prabhupada is adding a very deep meaning here. I offer my respects to the compassion of the Lord. Bhagavata Kripaye Nama. And Namo Mahavadanyaya. Prabhupada Pranam Mantri is Krishna Kripa Murti. He is Krishna Kripa Murti. Actually, Krishna, Srila Prabhupada is Krishna. Krishna and Krishna's Kripa Murti. So the Kripa Murti of Krishna is Srila Prabhupada. So what a compassion he had for the fallen souls, and what a task he did of taking that remarkable, historical journey in the Jaladut, suffering 2 heart attacks and landing in Boston for first time. And Prabhupada is singing this bhajan, Bhado Kripa Koilo Krishna अधमेर पति किला गिला नीले हे तो करो एबे गति रजस्तमो भावेरा सभाए अचन वासुदेव कथा रुचि nahi se prasan. So this was the compassion. Prabhupada did not think of, I might get another third attack. Let me go and first visit a doctor in the hospital. He was thinking about compassion, how I can show compassion to these fallen souls. So he was offering this heartfelt prayers to Krishna, who is Kripa Murti. He's a Kripa Murti. Actually, because Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it is very difficult to approach him. But the devotees, taking advantage of his compassionate nature, which is represented by Radharani, always pray to Radharani for Krishna's compassion. Karuna karumai, karuna bharite, sanaka sanatana varnita chandite. So if you want to actually Krishna's compassionate, merciful form is Srimati Radharani. So that's why we have to approach Srimati Radharani. Okay, any questions up till now? Yes, Vinita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, then with Pranav.
Yes.
Prabhuji, just a question I had in my mind that there is so much of unrest and no compatibility between humans today.
Yes.
And the ones who understand are the sufferers because they have to bear. So is it because these qualities are not imbibed in everybody at the same level? Or
No. Come again. What did you make a statement that they have
like
to
see
bear?
now we
They have
yeah
to.
like someone who understands is
Mm,
always in the understanding position,
mm,
and the someone who's giving is always in the giving position.
mm. Now, let me make this point very, very clear. Sometimes, with our limited intelligence, we cannot fathom these qualities. You know, it seems like, the devotee or the Mahabhagavat who is having this compassionate nature, who is taking uh, the suffering of the jivas on himself,
Hmm.
and how is able to bear and tolerate, you might feel like that. But being situated on the transcendental position, we cannot fathom, frankly speaking, we just cannot fathom uh, the uh, the level of their spiritual potency, is that the amount of suffering which is coming on them, you know, but the ecstasy what they're experiencing in the love of Krishna is like an ocean, and the suffering which is coming like a drop for them. But for us, the suffering, what we might see looking at them, might be looking like an ocean. But for them, it is just like a drop, and they go through that suffering, which we cannot bear it. We cannot bear seeing that suffering. That's our problem, because our consciousness is like a small uh, hoof print water, but their consciousness is like an ocean, and they're able to absorb everything. So it's unfathomable. I hope you're getting this point, what I'm trying to make it. Is it clear or no, Mataji?
Yes, to some extent, yes.
Yes, yes. Okay. Thank you very much. Chakraram Prabhuji. Yes.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, in 30th quality, Dharmika,
Huh?
it was mentioned that performing religious duty in reverse order. How do we understand that? What is it? Performing religious duties in reversing order.
What is the reversing order?
Dharmika, in Dharmika,
Huh?
there was, I believe, in certain of your PPT, it was written that performing religious duty in reverse order.
Oh, not in reverse order. Uh, it's not in Dharmika. It was in, yes, yes, yes. The
Dharmika
verse
only.
quotation, in the verse quotation,
Uh-huh.
the reverse order is what, the point is being made. Okay. Uh,
Performing religious duty, it was written.
one second, one second. Let me. It is actually an ornament by which it is mentioned that uh, examples of performing dharma and engaging others in dharma are given in reverse order.
I could not comprehend it.
You could not connect to this.
Yes, nothing. It was
Yeah.
blank on
You
that.
see, in yes, yes. Okay, let me show the verse to you. I got your question. Basically, Narad Muni is saying that, you know, uh, just like there are a lot of cows filled with on the entire earth, so there is no grass, right? There's absolutely no grass. So
Okay,
grass is compared to irreligion. So,
okay,
O king of cowherdmen, Gopendra, the bull of Dharma with four legs under nourished in such an extent that Tata Abhivardhan, Abhyavardhan, going everywhere in the three worlds, it has forcefully gobbled up the grass of religion. So this is, something which is, you have to see it in a reverse thing, not in a, this is it in a reverse way that actually, uh, by here examples of performing dharma and engaging others in dharma are given in reverse order. It's a joking statement made by
okay, okay,
Narada. So here, if you see, the present engaging others in dharma. So performing dharma, engaging others in dharma. So dharmika is a person who follows the principles of dharma and engages others in dharma. Is called virtuous man. So here, uh, examples of performing dharma and engaging others in dharma. The performance of dharma is here, that he himself was performing these sacrifices. I hope you got this point. Is it clear?
okay.
You got it? It is the
It was
reverse.
a
First,
joking.
actually, dharmika means one should perform dharma and engage others in dharma. So first, engaging others in dharma, reverse order is given. Then performing dharma himself, that second example is given. So that is how Rup Goswami is clarifying that. Sorry, Jeev Goswami in his commentary is clarifying. I hope it is clear to you now.
Okay.
Sudhanshu Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, the same, from where this verses reference is not, is it from Bhagavatam?
Yeah, this
This
verse is
whole verse?
reference from the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. 10th
Okay.
canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhupada mentions that. It is from the 10th verse. Yatha, yatha means, all, otherwise he gives the verse. Means, from Padma Puran or Vakkavya or something like that. All Yatha Yatha means all are from the Bhagavatam.
And how to understand this,
Okay, any other
that it is fun?
questions up till now?
How it is fun? Roji, how it is fun by Narad? That
Pardon?
it is written, na, this is
How it is?
Gopendra's fun. Gopendra is fun. How it is?
It's a joking way, no? Arey, you have spread so much that there is, the bull doesn't have any grass now left anywhere to eat. You're saying,
Wow.
you have so many cows that you have spread it everywhere on planet Earth. And everywhere there is bulls, and there is no grass to eat. What have you done? So it's a joking way to directly glorify, spread everywhere that there is no adharma, like that it is in a joking way. In fact, to be, to be very clear, the jokes, especially the Vedic way of jokes, is so refined that today's, generation jokes are so degraded by which they laugh. But the Vedic jokes were very refined, and it is to create an emotion which is very relishable. But today's jokes are very degraded, and you externally laugh, but there is no rasa in it. So this is a finer level of, pun by Narada. Are you getting this point now?
Yes, bro. But Gopendra is fun. How it is Gopendra is fun? That I do not.
Gopendra, Gopendra, Gopendra is Gopa Indra, and he is, one second. Gopendra is also, he is addressing him as Gopendra,
yes.
because you are the Lord of the Gopas. What have you done, So like that, you
Oh,
are sarcastically addressing him
got
like
the
that,
got the point. Sorry. Thank you, sir.
Pardon? Hare Krishna. Your voice is not audible. Hare Krishna.
Mhm. Yes, bro. Got the point. Thank you, sir.
You got the point, right? Okay, so we will cover some more qualities. Compassion is a very important quality. Sura, we have finished. Para Dukkha Dukhi. This is where we were there. Uh, yes, I had finished this also. Bhagavad Kripa, to make also a point. Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Jaiva Dharma makes a very interesting point about compassion, daya, and there is humility, dainya bhav, and then there is shama, forgiveness. So he says that forgiveness is between daya and uh, humility, compassion and humility. In between comes forgiveness. Frankly, these are different shades of the qualities of the soul, and they reflect just like gems. When you turn them, it reflects one particular color. When you turn it other direction, it reflects another color. So when you have humility, then genuinely there is compassion, and then also there is forgiveness. So we saw compassion. Now we'll see, I think, uh, respectful, manyamana krita, amanina manadena, manyamana krita. Okay, there is some disturbance in the background. Okay, we'll see manyamana krita and we'll wind up for today. Guru Brahmana Vriddadi Pujako Manyamana Krita. A person who worships Guru Brahmanas and the elderly, Guru Brahmana Vriddadi Pujako, is called a respectful person, Manyamana Krita. In fact, if you reflect, the more you respect your superiors, you become respectful. Yatha, again it is from the Bhagavatam. Krishna Harir, first of his Guru, Abhivandya Gurur Padam Padambujha. He then offered respects to his father and elder brother, Pitaram Purvajam Apya Atha Natha. Then with folded hands and words, Anjalina Tata Gira, he offered respects, Namat, to the elders of Yadu dynasty. Yadu Vriddhan in a proper order. Kramadayam. So Kramadayam, from the highest Guru to fathers to elder brothers, and then folded hands, and then to the elders with proper order. Prabhupada, there is no commentary. Prabhupada says, a person who shows adequate respect to a spiritual master, a brahmana, and a old person is to be understood to being respectful. When superior persons assembled before Krishna, Krishna first of all offered respect to his spiritual master, then to his father, and then to his elder brother Balram. In this way, Krishna, the lotus side, was completely happy and pure at heart in all of his dealings. Let's take another one. Dakshina. Shaushilia Saumya Charitro Dakshina Kritete Budhe. A person who is mild due to his excellent nature, Shaushilia Saumya Charito, is called compliant by the intelligent. Dakshina Kritete Budhe. Very mild due to his Shushil, we say, na? Shushil. And pure-hearted. So this is also how Tat Saumya, the sages of Naimisharanya address Sudha Goswami. You are very Saumya, you are pure and gentle by nature. Okay, let's see what Jiva Goswami has to say. He whose character is very soft, Saumya, due to his excellent nature, Saushilya, very soft at heart, is called compliant. Yatha, again it is from the Bhagavatam. The Supreme Lord, Purushottamoyam, who is pure-hearted by his very nature, Shilena Nirmalamati, does not see the serious offenses of his servants. Pratasya Pashyati Gurun Api Na Pradhanam. But he accepts even a little service as a great thing. Seva Managapi Kritam Bahuda Abyu Pete. He does not find fault even in those of low character. Avish Karoti Pishuneshu Api Na Abhya Suyam. Abhya Suya means those who are envious or those who have a lot of faults. He doesn't find fault. Those Abhya Shunan means those who are of low character. This is a statement in a letter of Uddhava to Akrura after he stole the Samantak jewel and went to Kashi. Akrura was Krishna's servant, very dear servant, but he committed this great act of stealing the Samantak jewel and he went to Kashi. So, but Krishna did not see anything fault in him. Liberal, Prabhupada says is liberal. Any person who by his natural behavior is very mild is called liberal. A statement by Uddhava after the Samantak jewel plundering confirms that Krishna was so kind and favorable. If a servitor is accused even of great offenses, Krishna does not take into consideration. So this is unfathomable sometimes for us to understand, especially, in Krishna's pastimes, maybe these events we cannot really understand or grasp or internalize, but especially within the moment, sometimes certain actions of great souls who are very compassionate to even somebody who has, I'm speaking within the moment, who has done a very uh, uh, heinous act, I can say, a very heinous act. It can be anything, but still they don't see fault and show compassion. And others, those who are neophytes in the management, they become really disturbed. How can you do that? There's that. He should be punished, there's that. But they show compassion. And this quality of theirs is coming from Krishna, because Krishna is like that. Krishna did not see any fault with Krura. Though Akrura had stolen the Samantak jewel. So this is the quality which is again unfathomable for us to understand. He simply considers a service that is rendered by his devotees. Somebody was sharing in one of the Bhagavatam class that you can, you know, don't take it literally. You can loot the hundi of Krishna right in front of the deities. You can loot it and go away. How much is that wealth? Maybe in few lakhs or few crores or whatever it is. What is that to compare to the Aishwarya of Krishna? What is possesses in the spiritual world? It doesn't make any difference to Krishna. You can do that. Krishna will tolerate that. Krishna will not mind it. But if you commit offenses to devotees, Krishna will not tolerate. Then Krishna will not allow you to stay in the association of devotees. Even if you loot the hundi, then Krishna will keep you still in the association of devotees. But if you offend the devotees, then Krishna will not tolerate and you will be bereft of the association of devotees. So this is how compassionate and liberal-hearted is Krishna. Okay, so the next quality is Vinayi. We will see that tomorrow. Any questions or clarifications till now? Any questions, clarifications? Okay, so we'll stop here. Shri Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Rupa Goswami Pad ki jai. Hare Krishna.